Hey Cowboys Nation, fasten your seatbelts because we've got some massive breaking news coming out of Dallas. And when I say massive, I mean potentially season-defining, franchise-shifting, goosebump-inducing kind of news. The Dallas Cowboys have just pulled off a stunning move, signing not one, but two NFL stars in what insiders are already calling a bold, million-dollar power play aimed directly at making a Super Bowl run this season. That's right, this isn't your typical off-season acquisition or minor roster shuffle. This is a headline-grabbing, locker-room-rocking, fan-base electrifying kind of announcement that is dominating the sports world right now, and if you bleed blue and silver, you're going to want to hear every detail. So let's get into it. First, let's talk about the first star signing, none other than wide receiver George Pickens, the former Steelers standout whose raw talent and electric playmaking ability have already made him one of the league's most exciting young receivers. Pickens, at only 23 years old, has already turned heads with his ability to stretch the field, make jaw-dropping contested catches, and bring serious swagger to any offense he lines up with. You've probably seen the highlights, those leaping, back shoulder grabs with defenders draped all over him. The man doesn't just catch passes, he snatches them like they owe him money. Now, imagine Pickens lined up opposite CeeDee Lamb with Michael Gallup in the slot. That's not just a receiving core, that's a nightmare for defensive coordinators across the league. And let's not forget, Dak Prescott is coming off one of his best statistical seasons, and now he gets a young, explosive weapon who can make something out of nothing on any given down. But the Cowboys didn't stop there. Nope. They doubled down and brought in another big name, battle-tested star linebacker Lavonte David, formerly of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, you heard me right. The veteran defensive leader, Super Bowl champion, and tackling machine is now donning the star on his helmet. David brings a wealth of experience, leadership, and football IQ that's hard to match. He's been the heart and soul of Tampa's defense for over a decade and now brings that fire, that hunger, and that championship pedigree to a Dallas defense that was already stacked with talent like Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Trayvon Diggs. With David mentoring younger players and anchoring the middle of the field, the Cowboys' defense just became infinitely more dangerous. Think about it, offenses now have to account for Parsons flying off the edge, Diggs ball hawking in the secondary, and David locking down the run and calling out plays like a general. This isn't just a good move. This is a we're coming for the Lombardi type of move. And make no mistake, these weren't cheap signings either. The Cowboys opened up the checkbook and made it clear they are all in. George Pickens' rookie contract was manageable, but reports suggest Dallas is already negotiating an extension that could land him upwards of $18.20 million annually if he performs the way we all know he can. And Lavonte David? He's getting a short-term, high-value contract, think 1 or 2 years, but with significant incentives that show the Cowboys aren't just investing in his past resume. They're betting on his continued excellence in 2025 and beyond. And while some critics might say the Cowboys overpaid, let's be honest, this is the kind of risk you take when your championship window is wide open. Jerry Jones isn't getting any younger, and neither is the core of this team. Moves like these tell you everything you need to know about how serious the organization is about bringing a championship back to Dallas. But the million-dollar question, literally and figuratively, is how these two players will fit into the Cowboys system. Let's start with Pickens. He brings a physical edge that we haven't seen in Dallas in years. He's not just a finesse receiver, he plays with attitude, with grit. He blocks, he talks, and he brings intensity on every play. That kind of energy is contagious. The Cowboys have a relatively young receiving core, and adding a dog like Pickens could elevate everyone around him. Imagine the spacing he'll create for CeeDee Lamb, the one-on-one matchups for Gallup, the mismatches for tight end Jake Ferguson. Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer has to be salivating at the possibilities. On defense, Lavonte David's role will be just as impactful. While Micah Parsons continues to be the Swiss Army knife of Dan Quinn's defense, David brings stability and experience to the linebacker group. He's the kind of guy who knows how to diagnose plays before they happen. He knows when to blitz, when to drop into coverage, and how to communicate with the front seven. With David calling the shots and Parsons doing Parsons things, rushing the passer, covering tight ends, flying around, this unit could very well become the best defense in the NFL. But let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. This isn't just about talent. It's about mindset, culture, identity. The Cowboys have often been criticized for being flashy but not tough, talented but not disciplined. These signings are about changing that narrative. They're bringing in players who fight, who grind, who elevate the people around them. Players who want to win, not just collect checks. And that's crucial. Because this season isn't going to be a cakewalk. The NFC East is more competitive than ever. The Eagles are stacked. The Giants are feisty. The Commanders are rebuilding, sure, but they've got young talent. Every game will be a battle, and the Cowboys just armed themselves for war. And let's not forget, these moves are going to energize the fan base like never before. We've already seen reactions pouring in. Cowboys fans are hyped. Social media is blowing up with excitement. Jerseys are being ordered, memes are flying, and at NT Stadium is going to be rocking come week 1. You can feel the shift happening. This isn't just another offseason. This feels special. It feels different. For years, the Cowboys have hovered in that frustrating middle ground, good, but not great. Playoff contenders, but not real threats. But these signings? They scream we're done waiting. This is about pushing the chips to the center of the table and betting it all on this season. And honestly, I love it. Because in this league, if you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. This isn't a rebuilding team. This is a championship caliber roster with elite talent on both sides of the ball, and now, with the addition of Pickens and David, they just plugged 2 of the biggest holes that have haunted them for seasons: receiver depth and linebacker consistency. And don't underestimate what this means in the locker room. Veterans like Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, and even Dak himself have been waiting for this kind of all-in investment. These are players who've been to the playoffs, felt the heartbreak, and are desperate to finish the job. Bringing in proven winners and hungry young stars sends a message to everyone in that building: the time is now. No more excuses. No more second-round exits. No more next year will be our year. It's this year. This moment. Right now. And one more thing before we wrap up: don't forget how smart this front office has become. They've been criticized in the past for overpaying or missing in free agency, but this offseason feels calculated. Strategic. They didn't throw money at the first big name available. They waited. They pounced. And they filled needs with the best available talent. This isn't just emotional fan service, it's sound football logic. These moves make sense on paper and on the field. So now it's over to you, Cowboys Nation. What do you think? Are you fired up? Do you believe these moves make Dallas a legit Super Bowl threat? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, because we've got full breakdowns, film analysis, game previews, post-game reactions, and all the hot takes you can handle coming all season long. This is going to be one of the most exciting years in recent Cowboys history, and you better believe we'll be covering every moment of it. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys!